We'll call this meeting to order, the May 20th, 2026 Cleveland City regular session, 6:01 p.m. First order of business is roll call. Everyone is here tonight. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, item 4 is consideration of the agenda, and I think we have a couple of proposed adjustments.
I have a proposed adjustment to the agenda.
Go ahead, Susan.
I would like to move new business, number 13, up under 11.
I do too. And get through the new business before we get back to chapter 155 discussion.
Yes, otherwise
Is that your motion?
that's my motion.
I would second that. All in, oh, wait a minute, I have another. So item 8, it's two parts here. This is slightly confusing. Item 7, we have shortlisted 2 candidates that are here tonight for questions and answers with the council. Item 8 is an executive session for the council to tell me their unfiltered thoughts. And that should have, we can't have any decision-making in an executive session, so the second part of that should be the public discussion and potential action. So that's, we go into executive session for us to talk, and then we will come out here and finish the discussion. If that makes sense, it is for possible action. Is everybody okay with that?
So it goes 6, 8, 7?
Well, it would still be, no, I'll cover the hiring process. There's an opportunity for the public to comment on the process. And then it will be the candidates, which is just for the council. And then an executive session for the council and the mayor. And then we will come out of executive session to wrap up the discussion. So there'll be a public discussion at the end of 8 after executive session and possible action. So it should have said discussion and action as well. So is everybody okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of those adjustments to the agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is consideration of the consent agenda. That would be items 5A through F. These are considered routine. They will be enacted by one motion. There's no separate discussion of these items unless somebody would like to pull one of these for discussion. I don't have any speaker requests on any of those items. Does anyone on the council want to pull any of these for detailed discussion or have any questions?
I do.
Go ahead. Did you want to pull it or you just had a question?
Just unclear transactions.
Okay.
So it seems to me like if you can't cash a check from 2017, that ought to be reconciled off our books.
They all happen.
Was that the reconciliation and that's where they showed up? Yeah, that was our advice from the accountant about all those mystery charges. They already had happened, so this was their instructions to catch up, so we didn't have any of those derelict.
Okay, so how far back did we wipe these out?
2017.
Okay, but did we do 2019, 21, 22?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, sweet. Excellent. So what's the accountant's recommendation? Should we let them sit there for a year or
They're all wiped out. They're all gone.
even the ones from late 25?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, no more of those dangling ones on the future.
Well, I know, in my personal business, we give people a year because the bank will accept it for a year. Sometimes they accept it beyond the year, which is surprising to us because we've already taken it off our books and then it gets cashed.
Well, some of these have already cleared. They
Yes.
just
Well,
didn't have the
it
books
looks
right.
like they're unclear. That's
No, but they're
They were,
really
they
not.
were, a lot of them were like journal entries. They were all, yeah,
Okay, so they were cash, but they didn't come off our books.
right.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Thank you. And then the second question I had is USA Today. What do we do with USA Today?
That was an ad. I think that was an ad for, I don't remember.
That's the registered guard. Are they owned by USA Today?
Yes.
Okay.
That was for the
Ballot
chapter 155, no, that was
Oh.
for the city initiative.
Okay.
Because I had to do it, see, I usually use SIUSLA, but I
Right.
couldn't use SIUSLA because it had to be done in a certain amount of
Is
time.
it
I get it.
So then it went to the
Yeah, it shows
registered
up as
guard.
USA Today.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had.
Question.
I move that we accept all the items in the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Right.
I think that was unanimous. Okay, item 6 is city administrator / recorder hiring process. So we have a couple of things to cover.
Excuse me, that used to be number 7, citizen input. And while I really thank you for being more accommodating to citizens, the last few meetings, you've really gone out of your way to be accommodating. However, to skip past citizen input,
I
as you
haven't
move on.
skipped
we haven't
citizens
skipped-
input.
well, listen, I don't like the fact that you're having backdoor meetings to talk about problems. 3 times you've done that before something was decided without any of us knowing what's going on. And I have it from certain sources that you've already decided who it's going to be. So I don't like the whole process, and it concerns me, the way
Okay.
you're doing it behind doors. And, you know, I thought we all lived here. I thought this was about all of us. Not just what's good for you, not just what you want, not just who you need to push your agenda forward, but all of us. So I need to say that.
Okay, thank you. So item 6 is city administrator / recorder hiring process. So the process requires, or the council must complete the following steps. Advertise the vacancy to the public. That has occurred over the last 6 weeks. This was posted on LinkedIn, Oregon, what's the name of the Oregon posting?
It was on WorkSource.
WorkSource, I always want to say
WorkSource, Oregon.
Job Source.
Yeah.
Oregon WorkSource and League of Cities website regionally. So that was advertised there. We are to adopt a regular hiring procedure, which we have done in the past. We have a city manual that was approved by city council quite a few years ago. And then during the last hire of a city administrator, almost exactly 2 years ago, we approved the job description that included the standards and criteria for the job. It was approved by council. And in addition, tonight is about interviewing the short list of candidates. And then you would see that job description and a contract in the future. Once we make a selection, that will come back to council. So you can comment on, I want to change one of these requirements, or I want to add a note or delete something to that effect. That will also be a public meeting. Tonight, in this item, we will offer the public an opportunity to comment on filling the position on the process. The public does not have an opportunity to comment on the candidates. So, does the council have any question about those steps?
I do.
Go ahead, Melissa. Oh, you don't?
No,
Do?
sir.
Any question? All right, Susan?
No, Mitch?
Okay, so I will open that. We have a speaker card from, I think we have 2. No. Ms. Jackson. This one's from Geneva, right?
Yes, well, I'm more pleased that that we have more than one candidate, because my letter is based on talk within the community. And the talk within the community was that the city had selected someone, and that we're going through this process, and it's just to go through the process.
That's news to me.
So, yes, so I sent you a letter.
Yes,
And I'm just reminding everyone of the regulations of the state regarding hiring people
I
for
believe
cities.
I just covered those.
And as long as we're following it,
Okay.
I'm fine.
Thank
Is-
you.
Yeah, is there anything, because we don't have a human resources director or anything here, I rely on LCOG for advice. So I appreciate the comment. We certainly haven't pre-decided. I don't think any of the council knew who the 2 shortlisted candidates, and we certainly haven't made a decision, but is there anything else you want to see
Well,
before
my
we proceed?
concern, I guess, at the most recent meeting, I believe it was you, announced that, said that you wouldn't be accepting resumes. So that sounded like it was over with. Kind
No,
of
we had
followed
created a
that.
list, and we were gonna end the advertising because we had 6 applicants.
Okay,
And so, sorry if that wasn't clear. It had slowed down, I mean, it had been advertised for a month.
It didn't help that out there in the community that they've told us who it's gonna be, so.
No,
Well,
those
maybe to see
people
what
out
you
in
guys do.
The people out in the community are just rumor mongering, and I have no idea where they're getting their stuff, because, you know, each of the council members been looking for people who would be interested in applying.
We've
and
had
thinking about
recommendations, and I.
talented people, and so what you're hearing is just complete balooey. It's ridiculous. And it's
Well, I'm willing to accept
well, I just
that.
have to say, it's offensive, because we're up here as volunteers, trying to do our best, and you guys think we're doing something behind your backs. It's ridiculous.
I think there's a general concern, and I appreciate them wanting to be, but I don't want to dismiss them. But yeah, I can tell you, me personally, this is the first that I've seen resumes. So
And it's the first anybody besides,
I'm just, speaking for myself, I can tell you, we have not,
because this
as
is
a
very,
council,
this is very
that we
private.
decided already.
It's very private until we get to this
Absolutely.
step, right? I didn't want to embarrass anybody. We have a couple of candidates I wasn't interested in. We had 2 candidates that after the discussion and some back and forth, they said not interested. And so I wasn't going to publish their names and potentially embarrass someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so yeah, we got to this step, and this step, it gets a little more public. They're here, sitting in the audience amongst you. And this is really uncomfortable
Well, I
for
kind
a
of
lot of
noticed
us.
there's a few new faces, and I can appreciate that.
I would
but
just
mean-
like to say that if you think that we have done something illegal as a council up here, get the attorneys on it. Let's go.
I'm
Because
not sure that
we're
I-
tired of
I'm not even
being
sure that
beaten
everybody
ahead.
on the council would know about
We're tired of being beaten ahead.
You guys keep bringing up some crazy stuff.
it.
You know,
We've been the
No,
most
it's-
straightforward council you've probably ever seen, and you just keep beating us up.
Yeah, I'm tired of it, frankly.
I think that's unfair.
Oh, it's
Because
not unfair, believe me, I'm your neighbor, and I'm getting a little tired of it.
a lot of things have not been brought to the surface.
We've been the most straightforward council you've ever
Okay,
seen.
Then could you give us actually the backgrounds of these people and why it is we keep wanting to? It seems like we want to bring a lot of
They're
people
published.
out of state.
You don't have the right to
Tell
it.
us how we should be living.
Well, let me finish.
And that concerns me.
Okay, so I think we're done with the discussion part. And it is published in the agenda, there's no secrets. There's 2 people that made the short list. There was 3, one of them removed themselves. I didn't ask them to go away. They decided this wasn't a good fit, I respect that. The other 2 are, their resume is published, you're welcome to review it. And the council, if we're done with item 6, the council will ask them questions. So item 6 is for the public to comment on the process. Are there any more comments on the process? And we're not voting on the city administrator. You have voted for a council that is going to select a new city administrator, to be perfectly clear. So if we're done with 6, we'll go on to 7.
Excuse me, Rich, I just want to excuse us because you may think we're suspicious, but we have many reasons to be that way. We have been misled and things have been done behind our back for years. So if we come with an attitude, we have a good reason for feeling that way. And if you swear you haven't already decided, you don't know who it is,
I swear I haven't already
you know,
decided.
then I guess we just have to trust you, but, it certainly seems to always go through it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment.
Yeah,
When we all joined this council, we took an oath. You all witnessed if you were here, if not, I know I was published in the paper, I imagine everybody else was published. So we took an oath to do no and harm, so please allow us to do that.
I love you, Melissa, but I see backroom conferences, I see.
No, you do
what
not.
say, and then every
you're
time
making that
there's a
up,
special
Geneva, or
meeting,
Jeannie,
the
I'm
vote
sorry,
changes.
Jeannie.
When were
Well,
those?
I can give you 3 examples, but
Please do.
I
I'd
don't
like
think,
to
no,
know.
no, please. Right now is not the time or place. for
I'd be
three
happy to
I
examples.
don't like being
examples.
accused of
I
doing
know.
things that I don't do.
Maybe we can have a special meeting and do
I'm
that.
all for that. I'd
And
like
that
to
water
answer any
balloons
questions
to
that
throw
they
at
have.
it.
I certainly wouldn't, say something that wasn't true, at least
Okay.
from my knowledge.
All right, I'm going to move on to item 7. We have 2 candidates here tonight who are reconsidering. And in alphabetical order, we have James Divis and and Tara Wardell. And so they're here in alphabetical order, and James is in the front row. So I'm going to turn it over to the council to ask questions. I've interviewed both. I've interviewed 6, and basically, so this was the cream of the crop, and I will turn it over to the council for appropriate questions, and then if you have any serious concerns, we'll discuss that in executive session. So with that, where do you want to start? Dude, you got any questions?
Just to comment, mostly, I read the resumes, and they're both highly qualified, both look like they can do a good job. My comment would be that our city administrator has been doing an incredible job, and big shoes to fill.
Yeah. You know what, let me back up a second. James, why don't you introduce yourself? Since the audience, you know, a couple of the staff and myself are the only ones that have met you. So you can make a brief introduction, cover whatever you want. Your resume is in the packet, but not everybody's got a copy of that. So,
Okay.
And then we'll go into questions.
My name's James Divis. I retired in 2019. I took an early retirement after a health scare. Sold my house, and I've just been traveling the country ever since in my RV for the last 6.5 years or so. I realized I meant to do it for maybe a year or two, and time kind of flies when you're having fun, is the saying, and it's very true. And I realized that my skill sets have an expiration, they have a shelf life. So if I waited too long and I wanted to contribute again to, you know, a city or an establishment, I would no longer be viable. So I wanted to get active. After 2 years of just being retired, I started volunteering nonstop for the last 4 years at various places. I volunteered at a fish hatchery in the Colorado Rockies, down in Joby in Florida, several other places. So I'm just not one to be comfortable sitting on my sofa, at least not yet. Give me, you know, another 10 years or so and I might be. And to answer your question, Counselor, absolutely. And one of the things that Lila and I talked about today is that I'm used to going into organizations and it being basically a bankrupt organization and having to wipe the slate clean and start from scratch. And from what I've seen, I'm not gonna have to do that here, which is really a relief. So I know I have some big shoes to fill. By way of background, before I retired, I was the director of a 911 center in Northern California. I had 50 employees, about a $5.4 million budget, all unionized. Before that, I was in Southern California at the city of Oceanside, again, as a 911 manager for about 27 employees, and we did police, fire, and EMS dispatching for the city there. And way back in the Wayback Machine, I was a police officer in Portland, Oregon, for about 5 years. So that's my CV for you. Any additional questions for me?
No, I'm just looking forward to picking someone to, you know, get started and give Lila a chance to go do what she wants to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let her move in.
Melissa, what do you got?
I appreciate both candidates. Questions that I may have is, with your resume, thank you for that, what would be the 3 goals that you would have coming into Dune City to help achieve this?
Yes,
Make
ma'am.
it a great place again.
If you're talking about goals as being visions, I don't see this position as being the person with the vision. I see y'all are the ones who live in the city, have lived in the city for a while, some of you generationally. You were elected by the people in the city because of your vision. So I see the job as a city administrator to be the person that carries out your visions, your dreams and goals. So whatever that is, as long as it's a majority vote, I'm going to do whatever I can to make your decisions come true.
Last question, why do you want to be a part of Dune City? Do you plan on making yourself a resident here, or do you plan on traveling within?
You know, I checked my bank account before this meeting, and I probably will not be buying a house in Dune City anytime soon. But I do plan on living either in Florence or in the city in my RV. And that depends on what weather does. It seems like a great idea until you're in Texas in spring and tornadoes go blowing by and hail the size of grapefruit, then it's not as fun. But I've lived in Oregon before, I've lived on the coast before. I think I'd be pretty comfortable with that, and there are several opportunities right within the city, so hopefully I will be a part of the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan?
You stole my question. but
I'm
that's-
sorry. Next time, tell me to go last. There you go.
Thank you. I want to know where you were going to reside.
Thank you.
I think if you get to know the city better, it would be best for everyone.
Absolutely.
That was all I had.
I don't have anything additional right now. Rich?
I don't have anything right now, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris?
I don't, no.
Larry?
So can you confirm that you have a master's from California State University? Did you graduate?
Yes, sir. I have a master's in behavioral science.
Okay, and why did you choose behavioral science?
I have always been interested, when I was a police officer, understanding what makes people tick, what makes them do what they do. The emphasis on that degree is conflict management and negotiations. So within my profession, I had a unionized environment, so I did a lot of negotiations. And it was a room full of 50 type A personalities that were under high stress, so there was an occasional conflict. So that was why I picked that.
Okay, so you were a police officer from 1992 to 1997.
Correct.
Then a public safety communications manager from 2005 to 2014. What occurred between 1997 and 2005?
Sure, when I left the Portland Police Bureau, I went and finished my undergrad degree. Then I came back to San Diego and I worked as a dispatcher and as a dispatch supervisor. It asked for 10 years, so I didn't put everything I've done.
Sure.
But I've kept myself busy.
Okay, cool. So your last position, it looks like you migrated from the city of Oceanside to the Shasta Area Safety Communications Agency.
Yes, sir.
So what was the reason for the relocation from the city of Oceanside to the Shasta area?
That was a career advancement, and I did it with some reservations. I had a beautiful house in Oceanside, which now I couldn't even afford to rebuy if I wanted to. I had been there 9 years, which is pretty good investment. During that time, I've had 2 police officers killed in line of duty, so I felt an investment into that community. But this was an opportunity to go from 27 dispatchers and a couple $1 million budget, reporting to one individual, and go to a agency that's nearly twice the size, reporting to a board of directors, very similar to what we have here. So I had a chairman of the board, and then I had elected officials that were city managers, county administrative officer, and police chief and sheriff.
Okay, very good. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything you want to add before we go to Tara?
No, sir, not for the board, but for the community. I'm not a local, and sometimes that's not a good thing because I don't understand the dynamics and the history and the culture, but sometimes it's good to come in with a clean slate. I don't have baggage, I don't have any relationships that have been strained. So I've moved around in my career, and I've always made it a priority to see everybody's perspective and to do what's best for the community and for the council, not for what's best for me. So I have a pension already, I have medical benefits with my retirement. I'm not doing this because I'm broke and I really need a job. I'm doing this because I think I have some skills, and when I saw the announcement, I've been keeping my eyes out for something. When I saw the announcement, I'm like, this is what I need, this is perfect for me. So, thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you. All right, Tara,
Hello.
come on up.
Hello. Thank
Please
you for
introduce
inviting me
yourself.
tonight. I appreciate that. My name is Tara Wardell. I moved to Oregon 3 years ago. Oh, you're we moved up here. My brother lives in Reedsport. I'm technically from California, but don't hold that against me. I've been in administration off and on for over 15 years, probably. I currently work at a bank. I went into the banking field, never done it before, love it. Actually, I met some wonderful people here. I mean, Lila's one of them. I really like this place. I don't want to go anywhere, just in case you wanted to know. I've built relationships, managed relationships. I've managed office for many, many years, and building relationships within a community is very important. Building trust, transparency, accountability, all those things are very, very important to me. And I look forward to meeting and learning everything about you. And I'm not going to say I'm going to come into this position and say I know everything, because nobody knows everything. I'm sure I'm going to have questions, but rest assured I'm going to find the right answer before I do it, before I do anything perceived. That's right. I actually left California and came up here because my daughter was in a car accident and almost lost both of her legs. So, we've been roughing it. We've actually bought an RV. We're RVing it just like kids, but we're not fifth wheel, okay? It's staying where it's at. And she loves it up here. I love it up here. It's gorgeous. I want to be part of something. I've been an avid member. I was on the Chamber of Commerce. I was also a board member on the United Way of Tulare County. Yes, I've done a lot. My uncle was actually a mayor for 4 terms, and I learned a lot from him. I was very close with him till he passed. Law enforcement, fire. My uncle is a retired captain of the fire department in California. I know a little bit about some stuff. When it comes to administration, fresh face, honesty, integrity, I'm not going to come into this job, I'm, like I said, not going to come into this position and say that I know everything. I may ask you a question, and I'm a good listener, and I'm not going to judge. I just get all the facts, and then I determine what the right answer is. What's best for the community, what's best for everybody involved. That's the way it's supposed to work, right? You're in a council, and you're in a small community, correct? I know you had a question about, you were saying something, oh no, she was saying something about vision. My vision, I'll just answer right now, is to see a community come together and reach those shared goals and be prosperous and happy and make it great. That's what I want. I want to be part of that. And when it comes to administration, I got Lila, she's wonderful. And I know nobody's gonna fill her shoes, but I sure would like to try.
Thank you. Question, you want to start again first, Duke?
I don't know what's left to ask.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't leave anything for you.
Resume, obviously you're qualified. No. Thank you.
Melissa?
I'll let council. No, actually, I have no questions.
So, do you plan on living in Florence as you do now, or moving to Dune City?
Oh, I'd love to move to Dune City. I'd love to live over there. I've lived in a mountain town before, and I loved the small community.
So what do you think you're gonna
I'm in Florence right now. I just moved to Florence last August from Reedsport. So, because I wanted to be closer to work, and I liked Florence, Dune City area better. So, yeah, I'd love to live in Dune City.
Rich?
So if anybody has a fifth wheel, if anybody has a Julie, that can move fifth wheel, let me know.
Any questions? All right, Chris?
I really don't. Thank you.
Larry, anything else?
What's the biggest challenge in your current job?
My biggest challenge? I think it was probably because it was a new place. I didn't know everybody. Was getting to meet everybody, getting to know the community. I've actually accelerated quite quickly. I actually do merchant services as well. So I've met a lot of the merchants and built really great relationships with them. Now I go to the store and I see someone and they're like, hey, how are you? For being here such a short time. That was a big challenge, because not knowing anybody, I was in a strange place. I don't know anybody here. And I do now.
All right, thank you. That's all I had.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, okay, I have let's see. That would be the end of item 7. So I have a script for item 8 to start the executive session. The Dune City Council will now meet in executive session for the purpose of considering employment of a public officer. Representatives of the news media shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to remain in the council chambers while we leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision will be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we'll return to open session, and you're welcome to wait until we return. The time is now 6:30 p.m., and we will be back in just a few minutes.
Six hours.
There you go. The ashcan's on fire out there, next to the, next to Sam. By the tree.
You're by yourself.
The building's okay, but the ash tray on fire.
Before the meeting, we're starting in the morning.
There's the hose bed.
Deceived so many times. It's like that one deals.
You're, so you've been in a big city.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
So we're not.
I'm from the Central Valley. I live in Modesto. I was born in Fresno. Where you were born? I lived in Modesto for like 10 years. I was born in Fresno, but I grew up in Fresno. I was in Fresno, Bakersfield. And then, before I moved up here, I was from Fresno, and then I left. Okay. Oh, that's like, that's like pretty. I know.
Nice job.
Thanks for
You put it down. That was you, I heard screaming.
I'm gonna run.
What do you do? Yeah, me too.
I'm sure.
I never even know.
So she was right now. She had the right.
Only put it down.
And out of a residential area.
Our debt pays bills.
This is like the city level. And later
Well, I'm just, wouldn't even know I did ask them.
they did not. She came on with How old were you? Wow. My brother was 3-4. Oh, my mom passed away. My brother was 3-4. Yeah, and then I want to show her. I'd like to push it to go to a really nice one. It's really hard to here.
Well, we can still pick it up and move it to a parking lot.
You need help? They got it.
Was not.
You need a lot. Yeah.
It's like wherever they say, sir.
Yeah, garden noise is not hooked up to the hose bed without valve. And it looked like an ash can, but it's a wood planter.
It blew
If
out.
you wanna throw another jug of water, I think there's somebody in Mango. There's. That was one of the reasons. That was one of my reasons for early retirement. I got vaccinated 3 times in one summer. Total over. Yeah, that's not fun. And when you're keeping it down, you just hear a low flying aircraft, you look up and it's a, you know, a little ball. It is. Crazy scenario.
Not for me, it didn't. They did like 3 times this
It doesn't smell good. I can go out and look. I assume you guys know what you're doing.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, the most we just
I'll throw some more water on.
You got.
Oh, you know, we had, somebody had a person that they.
I just went on a trip and I got back and our
And then they couldn't get it.
This isn't the spring either, it's pretty dry.
Yeah.
I am
think, why don't you think, are they using, I mean,
And after almost 10 years, yeah, I'm like, okay, go back, yeah, talk later. I'm not doing any other than well, she didn't know that I found out.
to understand, we've lived here all our lives, and we've just seen such carnage through the years. The fixes in, and the taxes like came here through these, and it was such like you hardly give them, they go back, and suddenly they're rich.
Yeah, and so,
Like they all said, well, I can't in my conscience pass this. No, because it's garbage.
you say, you're innocent.
The mayor went to Africa. This is where somebody came back. Suddenly they have
Yeah, it's not good enough, yeah.
back in deal, and he never explained how it fits. And I never
Good job.
saw
Too much.
So I'm just,
What was your last name?
Jackson, my sister and I moved here from my family, my uncle Rob, in the Florida, no, I just, and I got in,
I've been there several times, and it's really beautiful. Yeah, I mean,
one of the fire chiefs.
Are you in the house that's right across from that short-term rental?
No, that's our youngest sister. I don't know which one we're talking about. There's so many, there's so many bad ones. Just don't be interested.
It's crazy. It is crazy, and I stay I lived in an RV for a little over a year. I have no bedrooms and bathrooms.
It's like,
Several weeks,
and the
and
big
then
problem is, it's all about military business, wanting to make money.
oh, yeah. I could just leave it out on the street like I could paint, you know, it's my color. Right, exactly.
My nephew was a blacksmith. His wife was
There's no program.
other than the was, he's very bad at the fire department, he has a PhD now, he used to be fire chief of Tualatin Valley and Saudi Island and then Friday Harbor and Bay Lawn. So he just recently kind of retired, like you, and he was, so, I mean, we have a lot of people we love all over the place. And all I know is this used to be a great place to play, and now we have people on the way, it's hardly.
Fort Bragg. Yeah.
When we have a long time. And I'm just tired of seeing us rule by people from away. We don't have a clue what's going on.
I just met you.
I've lived all my life. I'm really helpful. You want to hear I'm warning about the things I need to look at. What's their attitude?
No, I don't even know. I think I gave my last one.
He wasn't reserved, but I have to say, lately,
Does it out? Wait, is the building exciting there? Oh my goodness. Just put it in the paper, it was so exciting.
That's pretty wild to do.
like,
Nice.
Trying to figure out, you might not escape on this when you're in Los Angeles.
Right.
Nobody uses that address but him. Learn a lot.
Yeah, this is where this,
That's why those signs, at least they're an awareness sign, it's not, people, I don't think they get
And, you know, she said,
with fire until it hits.
I just didn't realize that's just over there. It's not like it's over here. Tried to command me. This is one. Was that you were now?
I think so. There was some guy that had a flash fire up on one of just they had everybody.
Because the guy didn't want to. He just left, he lit it. This guy did, and he got out of it. Take it back, jumped. Other rush and caught on fire. Right. Yeah, you have to be, you can't know. I do have some, man, I got specifically over there, but some people are using it.
Three times, and we've approved it. And that's
No, I know, I remember existing, no, I never used it.
That's what I say, people like, she's my mom.
I mean, I just have my water set. Some of the corporations, whether LLCs,
My mom has
that's why we
There are.
very last question.
Members from
But that's all I lasted was.
contract.
Right.
Sometimes, my little
Well, good planning,
I thought so too, usually, but yeah.
someone changed it. It's not, it isn't automatic.
I mean,
My daughter's out of it. And yeah, and this town is hard. This era, that's where this is the it's not, this is just for it's not.
Yeah, so 27 that's my baby. Yeah, it's hard because the cost of living is, the pay is not there.
And I've got pictures of my family.
I talked to the director.
When I
said, oh,
That's kind of still there. Nothing doing with
At least we're
that's all I was actually. That was her name, because I didn't give that. I'm gonna say, yeah, that was.
They want to work, they want to do is level it and we will.
Yes.
It's like the Jews, it's like the country, that's gonna last. Way up.
Right up the way. Right up to where it is. I mean, because
Yeah, she's talking, no, that's easier talking, you have to.
I have that really,
That's easier.
I have one that was she's underneath her. I didn't.
I know, it's true, kind of.
Well, here's two of my other.
I always have my cat.
It is my wedding anniversary today, and here I am, yeah, and my husband's sister's Kaiser. Well, we have property there too, and I know he grew up in Maine. But, yeah. So, I mean, it was every hour. And right next to Camden, she wrote and that's 60 acres, I resort there. For the guy who
I'd already finished, there's only a couple more.
I was with him, we were at the same campus, and that night I took him to a bar, so they have some friends, we used to work nights together, got to know each other. He invited me to make you something, we tie knots, but always I live here part of the year, always, now I think about their summer business. As you know, it is very cold, very muddy. It's nice out there.
We got a committee now. Yeah, everybody's.
Doing native stuff.
That's right.
She's been keeping I don't know if you try for
Yes, there is a camera outside. I checked that in the meeting.
Perhaps you know, perhaps we can discuss this. Well, I'm just saying, we don't know.
Yeah, this is weird.
There's no pictures. That would be
Okay, we'll go back in regular session now at 6:54. Sorry for the delay, we had to put out a fire. A collective weed.
Yeah, how's that?
Okay, so we are part B of item 8. We've had some discussion, we're gonna have a little bit of public discussion. The council has seen the short list of candidates, and if the council would like to discuss anything else publicly, or if you want to entertain a motion to select a candidate, this would be the time.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay?
I'd like to make a motion that the mayor be directed to move forward to see if an employment relationship with Mr. James Divis would be possible for the city manager position in Dune City.
All right, thank you. Any discussion or comment?
Is there a second?
Seeing none, yeah, I need a second. Second. And before we vote, I want to thank both candidates. We had 6 that were considered. We had a couple of really good ones, and I think the 2 best are here, and we don't take this lightly. And I appreciate both of you. And with that, I will entertain a vote. All those in favor of James Divis?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, that carries unanimously. Thank you. And so the follow-up to that, I'll be in touch with you.
Yes, sir.
We'll do sort of an interim, like an acting assistant city administrator or something as soon as you're ready to start, and then we will come back with a contract. And you'll get to see that first, obviously, in the job description. We'll make any revisions appropriate, and then this will come back to council for formal appointment. So you'll be an appointed, sworn official at that time. So if that works, we'll work those details out outside of this meeting. And with that, I want to thank you both and the council. And we'll go on to item 9, announcements.
Before we do
Sorry.
that, Mayor, do you want to give the citizens any
Yeah.
comment period on the actions we just took?
Sure. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on the process now that you've seen the public part of the process? Do we still have those concerns?
I'm just concerned that you have to go to a back room to talk things over. Why can't we hear what it is you're concerned about? We live here too. We're concerned as well.
That's the law.
Well, you do, and there are certain things that are private, and we want to respect the privacy of the individuals because they are not employees yet. And there were other candidates as well, and I didn't want to embarrass anyone or bring forward a candidate to say, here's someone I would never consider. So part of that is really private between staff or the mayor and I, or the mayor and the city administrator, I'm sorry. And anyway, so once we shortlist, it becomes public. These are the candidates, the best 2 candidates, and you've seen them and you've seen their resume, and there is no other secrets, and that's why we had this deliberation publicly, so.
Okay, well, I can understand that, but the
Okay.
other issues we'll talk about some other time because
Okay.
I did have very good reasons for saying I can think of other examples.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll go on to 9A, announcement. We got the fire season letters out.
Yes, speaking of that,
And you put on it
there is a big, huge concern about fires being, a really
Not anymore,
threat.
we put it
I
out.
know, this season because of lack of snowfall and rain. So I just wanted to make sure that, everybody's aware and that we stay diligent this summer because
Yeah.
it could be,
And to that end, we had a good discussion. We proposed an ordinance to ban all fireworks. We did not approve it. But we did purchase some only you can prevent forest fire signs. And we had good suggestion from some citizens. We've got the signs. I've emailed the Public Works Director because the places to put them are county roads, Clear Lake, Canary, Pacific, basically as you come in off 101. So I've asked for permission. If I don't hear from them, we might just go out and install them. But we're trying to use existing posts, so we're not adding any more hardware on the roadway. But we would be in the counties right away, so I didn't want to set them off and have them removed. So anyway, we're going to work through that as quick as we can and get some signs up before the 4th of July, for sure.
May I mention one thing?
Yeah.
When I served on the board of the Western Lane Ambulance District with Sayusla Fire, there are things that the Fire Protection District does to help us all get lower insurance rates.
Good point.
Yeah.
They might be able to install them. too.
Well, they might, but there are things they do to try and help us get to lower insurance rates. It's the locality of water, fire departments.
And the defensible spaces and removing brush and trees
Exactly.
too
Now,
close to your homes.
we don't know that there could be a ban on anything like chainsaws,
There will be, right, that's the fire.
This may happen anyway.
Yes,
So I'm just saying.
absolutely. So right now, these are reminders.
And I think we're 17 inches below normal.
Oh.
17.
it's bad.
Yeah.
17 below
And the
normal.
good news is, right now, the sign is still at low, but it's that time of year where if it doesn't rain, well, we got 3 days of rain in the forecast next week if it happens. It'll change 12 times between now and then, but, So, yeah, a couple of days of rain before 4th of July will be helpful.
Might I reflect on fireworks too?
Say again?
I know you had explained to Larry that the meeting happened when he wasn't here and that the vote was unanimously against what Larry decided. I'm very concerned about the people, though, who sit in this room and know other things. And actually, I don't know if it was relayed to you, Larry, or if you got to see that meeting that you missed, but Duke actually admitted to, our family once owned the island, the one that's called Goat Island down in the Wasilla State. And I talked about the year my father used to let the people from Dune City or Old Westlake set off fireworks because it's an island, you know, it's not going to set a house on fire or anything, and a good place to have fireworks and everyone could see them from all around the lake. Well, one year, unfortunately, the people out there had a few too many and the fireworks got out of control and they set part of the island on fire. And so, yes, we have had fires. And thank God, and Duke, he fessed up. I thought it was very honest of him to say, yeah, he was one of those guys out there who set it on fire. He admitted he did that.
The too many wasn't the fireworks.
He's the one, though, that's pushing that we should have fireworks and have fun. Well, I hope we're also going to have water more available than whatever. It took a while to get this out. It is a concern. And Larry, we're very concerned because yes, we've had fires before. A lot of them aren't reported and it's hard to find out when they even happened. When I know about fires that happened, I can't find the history. I'm trying. But we're concerned too. Thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you. All right, anything else on item 9A?
Real quickly, the decathlon sign,
Yep,
that's
the triathlon?
triathlon.
Yeah.
Are those going to be removed and then?
I think so. I think Igor talked to.
Still in the process. I've been working with Lane County on getting new signs.
Yeah, so I wouldn't touch those, because it says, welcome to Dune
It
City,
does.
home of, so
Yeah.
part of it's still true.
Okay.
So anyway, I told the director I'd like to use the speed limit sign posts because they're the tallest. Those are 8-footers. The sign's way up high for regulatory reasons. There's a lot of sign posts available that wouldn't conflict with the 45-mile-an-hour sign, because some of those are shorter, and I don't want Smokey the Bear to end up 2 feet off the ground. And so I mean, I just emailed them a day or two ago, now that we got all the signs, so I'm trying to get approval. Thank you. All right, item 10 is citizens input for anything not on the agenda. So I've got 2 cards here. Della Powell,
Right here.
about short-term rentals. Go
Yes.
ahead, please.
Thank you. Oh, this is an ongoing thing, and the council is very aware of it. We've gotten on May 4th, I'm sorry, I gotta take off my glasses. On May 4th and also on May 18th, we received violations from Dune City for not having, or having too many people at one of our vacation rentals.
Okay.
This is the same vacation rental that has had all the issues since.
I'd like to stop you because I'm not aware of what you're talking about. I don't think any of the council's aware.
Of the violations?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
The council's not aware of it. The staff might be, but,
Okay,
so, no,
Well, this is a citizen's concern, so it's not for action, but.
yeah.
I'm just bringing it to an
Okay.
attention.
Right,
about
so
it.
if there was a future appeal of those, that would be a formal item and you do it.
Right, and I will also give you guys a copy of this letter that I've got here too, so, but anyway, we have jumped through so many hoops because of with the Dune City ordinances being changed. The one vacation rental on Russell Drive that I'm talking about started out at 14 occupancy. Then it got bumped down to 10 in February. We did that, no problem. Now we're told we can only have 9. And that's because of the septic issues or something. So that's fine. We've got a hold of Lane County. That is 9 adults. Children are at consideration, but they consider just 9 adults. With the Dune City Council, what is it called? Oh, the density and occupancy ordinance. 2 persons allowed per bedroom, which is a 4-bedroom home, plus 2 per CTR, or STR. So we could have a total of 10. But we've also, on all our fronts online, we've lowered it down to 9, just to be kosher with the
Well, it's
ordinances
both.
and everything.
It's 2 per bedroom, when we went through the ordinance, 2 per bedroom plus 2, like they have a living room with a high bed.
Right.
but limited by the septic system. So if the septic system can handle 6, then the number's 6. If the
Right.
septic can
And
handle 10.
I think that's why we've had the lower tonight.
Yes, and this
so-
one, they
Yeah.
went through and reviewed and said, well, it should be 9.
Yeah, and we've done that, I think
Okay.
as of Monday, I think we've
Okay.
got it lowered down to
All
9
right.
just
I
to follow
appreciate
the
that.
rules. So basically, yeah, we've done that, I've got proof of that, but my problem is we've got reservations that were made at this property last summer based on the occupancy of 14. How do we go to these guests and tell them, sorry? You know, we can't do that. Professionally, we shouldn't do that, and realistically, we shouldn't be able to do that. It's like, I don't know how we're supposed to handle these reservations now. Going forward, of course, we've lowered them, and they can't have any over 9 people. But it's like, we've got one particular neighbor that is harassing our guest. I've got guests complaining about their dogs barking, but yet I don't call and complain or email complaints about their dogs barking. It's just, why can't we just get along and, you know, it's just, yeah, we just keep getting harassed over this one property, and we're just trying to, like I said, jump through the hoops, make it right so that everybody can just get along. And it's just, I don't understand why it's not working with this one particular house and neighbor. It's just, it's very crazy. We've got 3 owners that are actually seeking legal advice and to actually put some lawsuits out in effect. So I just wanted to put that out there. I know if you're not aware of the violations that we've got on the 4th and on the 18th, I guess those are.
He's harassing our guests though.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it's just nonsense that we just need to get this straightened out. It's been voted on, it's been talked about, I don't know how many times. And it's just nonsense.
And it's on the list after all the report from staff, you know, and all the comments from the public. That's on our list. We've got a lot on our list to go back through, look at some of those specific terms in the short-term rental ordinance. Some of this we talked about 2 years ago, and it may or may not be accurately reflected in the text, but it's a valid point. We had some of that conversation about, is it adults or is it beds and heads? Does it matter if they're 4 years old, if they can flush the toilet and take a bath, or, you know? And so there is a lot of, I mean, in this case, I guess the last group was some adults and some children, and it was over 9, and so they were cited. That was a Roadie Day weekend, right?
Correct.
Rental. So I just heard about that one. So we can't take any action on this today, but it is on our list of things to do, and we can coordinate with staff and.
Well, I would suggest, Mayor, that if the septic is approved for 9, it better not go over 9.
Yeah, and that's what we've got it down to now.
I understand, but I'm saying in terms of your future reservations, that's a business problem for you to solve. It's not our problem to solve.
Right.
So, yeah, Mayor's right, we'll be revisiting the ordinance.
But what about the previous reservations that were made last summer?
I think you're gonna have to change those.
How do we do that?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know, that's not a problem for the council. You have a limit of 9 on the septic system, you gotta comply with that. That's the
well,
reality.
that's why I wanted to bring this to you.
I understand.
To kind of get your advice in, okay, then that's what.
Why would they allow 10?
That's what we'll,
I
that's
have
what.
one other suggestion, because we rely on Lane County, and they've had a change in personnel, and they've had a change in the way they view this program. So we were getting slightly different answers a year ago. They weren't sure why we were having all these reviewed. And it may be worth your time, before we get into the details, to talk to them, and if they say, you know, if they write you a letter that says 8 adults and 4 kids, if they put it on their letterhead and say the septic folks are good with that, you know, I mean, that meets the ordinance, other than the 2 per bedroom plus 2. So at least you have something to bring us. Right now, we can't just waive the county's calculations and measurements and say, if it's inconvenient, go to 16. We also don't want an overflow or a backup.
Right, no, I get that.
That's the other. Everybody in that neighborhood, well, your part wells, the neighbor across the street's on a well, and some are on lake water. The last thing we want is to pollute, you know, surface waters or groundwater and have the entire neighborhood impacted. So
I think you can understand that there'll be other people who disagree with you, who would come to the council and say, why are you letting them have more than 9?
yeah.
Right.
9's the limit. Well, we can't defend that either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even find out about the limit of 9 until I got the violation.
I understand.
So, you know,
Yeah.
we didn't even know. And that was Monday, I believe.
Right.
So,
It's just not something that we can fix for you.
Except for Igor and I both talked to you a few months ago.
Jim on Thursday of last week, and we told them 9.
Yeah.
So there's
And we
no
even
new
met
news
with Jim
here.
last
Sorry
week,
to
but I
say.
remember it was a council meeting, Igor and I talked to you a few months ago when it should have changed from 10 to 9, and I thought you changed that. Didn't you change that on the
We
website?
advised Jim a while ago.
14 to 10.
Yeah.
A few months ago, there was 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's the
The
first that I heard
violation
of
from
it,
May
so-
4th says 9
We
is the
spoke
maximum.
personally, so,
So-
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the other I have that's, I got the speaker card that's not related to an agenda item, which it says other planning commission.
Yeah,
Janina?
well, I have something, it's something from the city website, and they're just advertising the planning commission. And it said some things I found concerning. Previously, it said, members, the commission reviews land use applications and recommends related decisions to the city council. Members promote interest in and understanding of purposes and principles and proposals expressed in Dune City Comprehensive Plan and cooperate with agencies in the state. That's the old one. The new one that's up there, and no one seems to know who made this change. It's just an advertisement. It's not in the actual, because what I just read to you is what's currently in the comprehensive plan. This one that's up there now says, the Planning Commission also provides a platform for public input, balancing the interests of residents, businesses, and developers to create a sustainable and vibrant urban environment. Right now, our current comprehensive plan and talks about saving the environment and about our rural nature. And I've read just several things out of there. So this was just stuck in, and it really sounds exciting, but it doesn't match the same plan. We haven't passed 275 yet, so I'm concerned about that.
And when was it added?
What's the concern?
I'm concerned that the message in the planning, the message for that was previously there, and we haven't voted in 275, does not say what this says. And what this says is the Planning Commission also provides a platform for balancing the interests of residents, businesses, developers to create a sustainable and vibrant urban environment. Our Planning Commission says rural, and trying to say the rural,
Understood.
the rural nature.
So the posting is a short summary of what the planning commission does. Doesn't change an ordinance, doesn't change planning goals, doesn't change state law. We're trying to attract a volunteer. What the planning commission is limited to is well defined by the comprehensive plan, state law, and the land use code. So it doesn't change what they actually do or what they have the authority to approve. If it sounds confusing, I apologize. I don't know who drafted it either.
I'm not, I'm
But the
not-
mere posting doesn't change the actual
Yeah, I'm
duties.
aware of the legal
Okay.
aspect of this. It's just curious that no one even knows who said that, and until we do, in fact, change it, it shouldn't say that.
Okay, well, we're not changing 275 to say any of those words, regardless of where we get in the land use plan. It doesn't change the comprehensive plan, nor does it change state law. So I don't see it as much of a concern, and there's a potential planning commissioner sitting next to you, and in a minute, we're gonna ask him if that's confusing or misleading. But, I mean, we basically have an ongoing, for years, we've had vacancy on the planning commission, on and off for years. When I moved here, we had 2 that were unfilled for months and months and months. So I volunteered. That was my first experience here, was on the planning commission. So, it didn't change, I mean, the chair of the planning commission is sitting in the back of the room, it's not changing what the actual duties and the goals are. It's a layperson's description of the opening on the planning commission. It certainly doesn't change the comprehensive plan or the land use code.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Geneva, that was not for the posting for the planning commission, because I have just the posting for the planning commission on the newsletter is very basic, it doesn't say any of that.
Okay.
So, are you getting that from the planning commission page? Because I know that I spoke to Holly
Yeah,
about that.
this is Holly's concern, but I understand it.
Okay, so are you talking again about the planning commission page where it talks about what the planning commission does? Is that what that's about then?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and I would say both are accurate.
Right,
It's
and I think
what they
combined,
do, but it's not a new,
the
it's
whole
not a new
package.
priority, it's a
No.
process.
Yeah,
I don't see a conflict. I think it is what the planning commission does. And if the wordsmithing is a problem, it's like the mayor says, we gotta go back to the code. The planning commission
right.
follows the code.
And speaking as a reasonably ex-planning commissioner, we got a little bit of training, we got some guidance. We have a very capable chair that tries to keep us coloring in the lines, and we take the comprehensive plan seriously. That is a law, if you will, in Dune City. So is 275 as it exists, or 155. And we have proposed revisions. Once adopted, that will be the law for land use. But yeah, the short version doesn't change the legal ramifications or the role.
I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
I'm just concerned that is suggesting that that's the direction we want to
Okay.
go.
But it's not a new direction, I promise you that. You might take it that way, but that's not how it was meant. I'm with Larry, you gotta take it as a whole. It's ongoing work as things are submitted to the planning commission.
I can add to that. That's from the website, right?
Yeah,
So that was a minor change from the previous version, because the previous version had like 2 sentences. It was very unclear what the planning commission did. So we expanded on it.
I kind of thought that.
Yeah, so
what is
if you
what-
don't like the words that were chosen to expand upon it, that's just a website blurb. It is not directive anything. Nobody's making decisions on that little blurb that's on the website. So, yeah.
But it is it is in conflict with,
Yeah, but it's nothing. It's a blurb on a website. It's not directing policy, it's not making decisions. So if you have a recommendation, please. We can tweak the
I'll do
wording.
that, and I
Yeah.
won't take up any more of the time.
Yeah.
Words are important.
all right. Thank you. Any other citizens' concerns, items not on the agenda tonight? Anyone? No one? We'll go on to 11. 11A is Mayor's Report. I'm excited to report, I was invited to participate in the rhododendron parade.
Yeah, Daniel, how did that
Other than they put someone else's, well, they put my middle name on the door sign.
go? I saw that. Who's Daniel?
And I said, okay, because I said, I have my own door magnets. I have a Dune City
Right.
logo, off the sign, and it says mayor, and that's all. And I go, oh, no, that's very unusual. You can't do that. And I go, well, then who's that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, thank you for being.
it doesn't match what potentially is on the ballot, so for whatever, I don't know if it did me any good, but I waved a lot, and it was fun.
And some cars had names on it, and the person with the name on it was not in that car.
Okay, now that's even better. So that was a pretty big group, there was 104 entries. Some of the volunteers were pretty stressed at the beginning of that, so I said, I can live with it. Because I'd already been yelled at once. I thought I should just shut up and get in the Corvette and go for a ride. So, I get a second bite at the parade apple. I've been invited by the mayor of Portland. He's invited every mayor in Oregon to come to the Rose Festival Parade on June 6th. So I'm going to Portland.
That's pretty.
I had myself a t-shirt made with the Dune City logo really big on the back, so you'll be able to pick me up on public access TV.
Nice.
Bought it with my own money, so I'm pretty excited about that one too. And that's about all I have to report. We have some other stuff at the end that's on the agenda under new business. So we have permits and code enforcement in your packet. Does anybody have any questions? We have staff in the audience if we need to put them on the spot.
Is there anything you want to tell us, Pam?
We've got more new bills coming.
Got more what?
New bills. So the one you just got was Little Woking Lot 22?
Yep.
And then you've got
lot-
something else
Lot
pending?
one is got a deal in, and then we've got two other lots, a vacant lot on Clear Lake that was just bought, and one on Parkway, they demoed the old 62 single wide, and they're putting in a new little
Okay,
trailer.
on an existing developed lot.
So on next month's list, there will be 3 for sure.
All right, okay. All right, any comments, questions besides, anything else? Okay, so we'll jump to new business.
Code enforcement.
I'm sorry, code enforcement, any questions on code enforcement? I was thinking of both, but, sorry. I'm excited to move ahead. Anything you want to talk about on code enforcement? I think we just had a little discussion about
Is there any questions?
your activities. I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm thankful to have Igor.
How's it going, Igor?
It's going okay.
We're going into busy season.
I know,
It
I'm
gets
ready.
busier.
No
Okay.
problem.
I see you a lot, you're active.
And we are still, we are looking for a used automobile. We have a very modest budget. He's been driving his own car. And, so if anybody knows of a, maybe a $3,000 pickup that doesn't need a ton of work, or a station wagon or something.
Why'd you say that loud?
Yeah, we can shop.
Why don't you ask them? She just asked me, do I work for you guys or do I work for Linda?
No, she,
Lila.
he works.
Because this has been, Jim Donahue asked me that Saturday night via text too. And I responded I work for the city of Dunes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she just questioned me.
She's the boss. So Lila's the boss.
Yep.
And then if something gets escalated, it comes to me. And then,
Anyway, we should try and find a pickup truck.
yes, or a station wagon or something, yeah, whatever. A minivan. Igor wants a minivan.
Something good on that.
Maybe they need a sports car.
That's cool. All right. Any other questions on that? If not, I will jump to item 11 and a half, new business.
13A.
Yeah. So 13A is appoint John Caldwell to the planning commission. We have a volunteer for the planning commission. I think he's a wonderful volunteer.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor of John?
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome to the family, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you very
volunteering.
much.
It's,
Rapunzel.
oh, go ahead, Rapunzel.
Well, thank you for appointing John. For the record, could we please note that his term ending date is January 19th, 2028?
2028.
Yes.
Time flies, man.
That's a long
Okay.
time.
And Larry, I'm sorry, you were the second?
Yes.
Susan and Larry, yeah. All right, thank you. And is that the only vacancy we have right now?
Yes.
Oh, very
Now
good.
we have no vacancy.
Oh, very
We
good.
have a full planning commission.
Well done.
But the budget committee still has openings.
John,
It
it will
does.
be rewarding and frustrating sometimes.
I'm sure it will. I'm good.
Mostly rewarding. All right. 13B is budget committee recommendation. This is just something Lila wanted to bring up. We talked about this, it's in the budget, and it was an insurance subsidy, I guess, for lack of a better term, or, because we couldn't come up with a group plan, we couldn't find anything affordable, so we were gonna pay an additional amount. And I'll turn that over to Lila for the specifics. But we approved it in the budget. She wanted to bring it up before we got to the
July.
yeah, before it starts showing up in paychecks, when we have to submit payroll in June. So,
Yes, I searched high and low for an insurance company, and they were for our employees here at Dune City, and it was cost prohibitive. So then I talked to many different people, our attorney, I talked to insurance companies, I talked to LCOG, I talked to lots of different places to see what kind of options we had. The one person came to me and told me about Health Equity, which is the company that you see here. And they're the only ones that even really have an option for us. And their option is they can set up an account, and we have to pre-fund it for the year, and then it becomes part of each person's paycheck in a sense, and they can use that money to pay for eligible healthcare costs, even their healthcare premiums. But they cannot do it, with insurance, it's based on number of hours that you work. They can't do it that way. They can only do it, they can't even distinguish between full-time and part-time. So the only way they can do any kind of distinguish between people, you have to do it for all the employees. And the only way they could change that was by doing it by age. So that was just my recommendation, it was just my thoughts. I was thinking an age group of
one of the-
40 and over and 40 and under.
One of the comments that the budget committee was, could we set up a health savings account or something so that it was specific to health, which makes it pre-tax, but it also has a cost to the city, and it's not a perfect fit for the staff complement.
Not as, I mean, not as.
The alternative is save their cost and give each employee, but it's taxable, but it saves the cost of setting up a program, and they can spend it towards whatever they want to spend it towards, whether it's a premium, a copay, or tires for the boat trailer. So, but we've approved the number, it's in the budget, so this was just a heads up. We looked at all the options, and basically, we don't have any great options.
Do you need a motion to approve an HSA?
No, well, did you want to do the HSA, or that was just the one, that was the only option that was even available? Because I didn't think it was a good fit, because it was age-based, not part-time versus full-time. We couldn't put one amount for part-time and one amount for full-time. You could change based on age only. And,
Okay, that's weird.
yes, so it wasn't a great fit, and then has some overhead costs for them to do paperwork so that it becomes tax exempt, so.
Do you know what the employees want?
I know they were concerned about being taxed on the $300. I know that was but you've got two of them here, so I'm not sure if they have a preference.
Health insurance is all pre-tax.
Health insurance is, but
if
this
you're
wouldn't be,
paying a premium,
because this is like a
If we
bonus.
pay a premium, it's like $1,000.
Yeah.
But the only thing we can do
We
is
couldn't afford that.
put it in their paychecks, they would get taxed.
Right.
And they get
Just
taxed
becomes
heavily.
additional income towards whatever cost they already incurred. Because right now, it's zero, so.
It can't be listed as reimbursement for insurance and be pre-tax? I don't know.
No.
A special
Well, I-
account has to be set up for that.
I have an HSA myself, and I really like it, but my employer didn't have these restrictions for
Right.
full-time.
I have a larger employer as well, so yeah.
Right.
And typically it wouldn't be that way, but since we don't already have insurance, that's why.
So could we do something where we look at somebody's hours, how many hours they worked? Well, no, I'm talking about outside the HSA. Let's say that we want to give them a supplement for their health insurance. Can we gross it up using a percentage so that we're essentially covering their tax? So it would cost us a little more. So like if you were doing $300, you say, okay, well, maybe $80 of that is tax. Then you make it $380 a month.
And
And that.
effectively, we're doing that. We didn't tell them what the number was, so right now we could say, you're getting $225, and it looks like $300 because we're paying the tax.
Right.
I mean, we picked, $300 was what we approved at the budget committee, so yeah.
Over
you're gonna net-
17 and a half hours a week.
Like
So-
everybody's gonna net, whatever that is,
Was that
$225.
planned based on hours worked or full-time or part-time?
That was
Hours
full-time,
worked.
part-time, right?
Yeah.
So hours worked, so it's either below 17 and a half or over? Or was it just,
At 17 and a half or over, yes.
okay, so 17 and a half over is one number and below 17 and a half is zero.
Yes.
Gotcha, okay, so if somebody's working more than 17 and a half,
Yeah, more than half time.
we budgeted 300,
Yes.
Right.
right? Okay, well, if the employees are concerned about paying tax on that, I would propose that we gross it up a little higher so that we're covering some of that tax.
I think we have to adjust because we've approved a number.
So that's what we looked at, right, so I think they're all gonna net $225, they're not gonna net $300.
I get you, yeah. It's just a
So
conversation.
this was just a heads up, because that will be a new thing going into the budget, and you'll see those, because we've never had those expenses.
Well, and all of our
It's the first time we did it.
all of our employees are in a different tax bracket, so
Right.
it's impossible to
And they all have
fix.
different situations, yeah.
Right, it's impossible to fix, but at least it's
Right.
something over what we
It
did
is.
before, which was zero.
It's beats a poke in the eye.
Yes,
Stick.
yeah.
So, yeah, So yeah, we kept turning over logs and we didn't find any nuggets.
It is very hard to get health insurance.
It's easy if you've got a fortune, I mean, it's easy if you're paying $1,000 a month per employee.
Per employee,
yeah.
if not more.
Yeah,
Right.
so anyway, and yeah, this was just a heads up.
So you can proceed, right?
Yes.
Based on the, what we've
Yeah.
already budgeted?
It's in the budget.
It's within the
Yep,
budget
yep,
that we already approved.
Yep.
Deal.
I just didn't know if you wanted to, I wanted to give you the options that we had because we didn't really have any options at the budget committee, so.
Okay.
All right, and the most excited, I've been fidgeting in my seat the whole night. I volunteered, the Chamber of Commerce was looking for a new sponsor of the watermelon eating and pie eating contest for the 4th of July. So I volunteered. So I'm asking if you guys want to volunteer. We need some judges. Watch people eat pie and watermelon, and when they finish, you will raise an American flag. I have an American flag with your name on it.
I would rather come and eat watermelon.
And you can do that too. There'll be snacks. And so it'll be over, up Bay Street with the carnival for the 4th of July. It's a Saturday this year, so it's going to be a big turnout. It'll be around noon. We're firming up the arrangements. Lila's already started asking for sponsors. We've got some donations. We've got a dumpster coming. The trash guy's giving us a dumpster. We've got some money being donated. So it will just be time, I think, just to come and help. And we'll have tables. We'll cover them with painter's plastic. They'll eat. We'll roll it up, throw it away, and start the next wave. So they do 3 age groups and pies and watermelons. So we'll need, probably a dozen of us. So if you have family members who want to participate, and then.
Alan and I will help.
Okay, and, I want to start with the council. It'll be Dune City, and we're buying a little banner. Part of this is just identity, right? It's not the Florence, it's within Florence. Previous 8 years, it was Habitat for Humanity. And so we're going to get our own banner and that matches your logo shirt and.
So we can put that up on our Dune City sign that says we're the sponsors.
With home of the pie eating contest, 2026. Now you're talking.
We need basters so we can suck out their noses from the.
Sounds like a job for a nurse.
Hey now, right here.
So yeah, we're working out the details for a little hand wash water and that sort of thing, but it should be a lot of fun, and the stakes are low. It's all for
It's time,
fun.
it's what I figured.
Yes,
It's okay.
it'll be about 2 hours. It'll be like an hour. We need to go after the bicycle ride down Bay Street, which is like 9 a.m., 9 to 10, somewhere in there. So somewhere like 11, we'll do sign-ups.
Registrations.
And then like noon, we'll start the eating, and that goes fast. So we should be all cleaned up by 1 o'clock.
There are 3 different age groups,
Yeah.
and then, pie and.
Historically, 5 to 10, 11 to 15, and 16 and up. We got an open division, so, you can sign up for the open division. I'll make sure you get a spot.
I'm not gonna be here.
Oh, you're not competitive either.
I'll be in the league side.
Oh. Ooh, okay, so, any questions on that?
You taking names right now?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Amber and I will do.
Oh, awesome. And your bigger kids are welcome too. And they can either.
We try to get them
participate.
into the contest.
Okay,
So that might
fair
be a
enough.
conflict, but.
That's good. No,
I'll sit down
because
with
there's gonna be multiple tables, so we thought of
Okay,
this.
very good.
You'll be at a different table. And the prizes may suck anyway, so.
Free
He's in
pie.
charge of the.
Free pie.
Yeah, but it's free pie.
Free pie.
You gonna be in town, Larry?
Yeah, I'll try to help.
Okay. You're traveling?
I'm gone.
All right.
He's got fireworks.
Somebody's gotta do fireworks.
All right, fair enough. You in town?
She already said.
Alan and I will both.
All right.
So 4th of July this year, what day of the week is it?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Are you gonna be available?
I'll be available, I'll see if I can conjure up a few family
Okay.
members to help.
Dude.
I don't know if I'm available, but if I am, I will be there.
Who
Okay.
provides the pies and the watermelon?
I am actually working with Safeway,
Potentially Safeway. Yeah.
potentially,
Okay.
yes.
So we buy them and we
I'm trying to get them donated.
sponsor them.
Did you know that she used to be the assistant manager at Safeway and knows all the corporate people?
Ooh, nice. All right.
I'm not making any guarantees.
But yeah, we're raising some money,
It's
too,
been a
so if you
while.
have to buy them, we'll ask for them at cost.
Okay.
If we have- That's what Habitat had to do. They said they ended up shopping for a discount, so.
That's fine.
And we actually have 3 sponsors right now. Well, 2. One is, we should find out today, so.
I'll be a sponsor, our business.
Okay.
Oh,
If you want to send me your logo, please, because I want to put them on a flyer.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And Duke, it's like 2 hours in the middle of the day.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything. If I'm there, I'll be there.
Okay, all right. And then, we'll come up with a list. We haven't assigned like judges and all, and then we'll probably need some from the community or, you know, in the neighborhood. So we can go to the planning commission next. Planning commission wants to.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. All right, that takes us back to 12. We are on page 43 of about 200 pages. We're making progress. Working our way through an ordinance. So, okay, as a reminder, this is ordinance 275.
Do you have it in paper or you have it on your? Because I need to know what page. We have two different versions.
Oh, well, say 43, 44, most of them are one page different.
What section are we on?
That would be
155.2.1.150.
requirements in general. So I've got something I need to read. This is land use file PAPA 25-01, a type 4 legislative amendment to chapter 155 of the Dune City Development Code. If approved, the amendments will be adopted via ordinance 275. The planning commission recommended approval and adoption of the amendments with the revisions as noted. We've had additional revisions, obviously. The city council is reconvening the public hearing tonight to continue this hearing from the May 6th meeting, 2026. The hearing is open and oral and written comments will be accepted. The councilors are going page by page through the ordinance. We'll start at 155.2.1.150, requirements in general, which is approximately page 43, depending on which version you printed.
Of 43.
Okay, and we
There's a
did,
comment to that one too.
okay, hang on before we get to that comment. We received a letter from Holly Collins related to ordinance 275. It's in your packet. Let's see here. Where did I put it? Because I have some notes. I've done it. She points out some concerns, and she is correct. We have to be sensitive to the comprehensive planning goals and the comprehensive plan, and the state's planning goals, and we are. And we've had this conversation with our attorney and our planner from LCOG and the planning commission. That is the goal, is to be consistent with those. That was part of her letter. So I don't think there were any specific items to change, but she's got a number of concerns and points out. And then there's a couple of her concerns in the letter are not part of ordinance 275. But maybe based on past discussion or things like that. So I can't find a copy of the letter. I know I have it here somewhere.
I have one here. Do you need it?
No, because I had some notes on it for myself, but anyway, so if anybody has any other comments or concerns, that will be as part of the record, that will be in the packet. So with that, we can go on, unless somebody has an additional comment, we can go on to page 43. And Susan pointed out we had a comment. Was that part of the requirements in general?
It was part of the memorandum.
It's on memorandum that Lila's announced,
Oh, okay.
page 5, starts at the top. It's where we left that off on the comments.
Okay.
I had a citizen concern on A1, it's just too restricted, is what I got wrote down here.
A?
Yeah, A1,
Oh, the depth.
yeah.
You know, and we had a good comment, I think, from Jack about odd-shaped lots. There are lots of odd. And the length, the length, the width, it doesn't always work out.
No.
And
My thing is.
Well, it doesn't work for Westlake at all.
right, and then we have existing lots that aren't 1 acre minimum, and they're not legal, but they are legal existing. Now, legal existing, they already exist. You can pull a building permit tomorrow for one of those. This is really about mapping new. So I guess we need to clarify that. If you're mapping something, you need to make every effort to meet the requirements. But existing, this doesn't put anyone with an existing legal lot out of business, because there are, like my subdivision, were half-acre minimum at the time in 1978. And the developer at the time, mine are all 5/8, so they were generous at the time, but they're well under the 1 acre. So it doesn't make them illegal, it means going forward. So as of today's date, we're 1 acre minimum.
And maybe we should say it's for new lots, because the way it reads, I was concerned.
Yes, so it's a lot of area requirements. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you gotta make it crystal clear. If you're creating a new map or a new division, you need to meet the current requirement. And it's changed over the years, a couple of times.
I also think you're just not gonna take a grid and lay down over
Right.
like a topography map.
Right.
And have riparian concerns or slope concerns. I think we have to be open for variances.
We actually have very few rectangles right now because of the
Yeah.
slopes and the curvy streets and,
So
so that's a good
let's-
point.
What if you had like a weird lot and it's not an acre?
Yeah.
Wouldn't the owner of that property have the opportunity to ask for a variance?
Yeah, variance or waiver.
So we could stay, I mean, I agree with you.
Yes.
We don't want it to be too restrictive, but we ought to say where it doesn't work,
That's part of the process, right? So if you map it, that's all you can get because of
then you bring it
some,
forward.
right, you come and you say, this is all it is, it's .77, whatever. We did that last year with this leftover here right around the corner,
Mhm.
that way. For years, vacant, couldn't do anything with it, and the two property owners got together, moved the corner in the back 10 feet and said, now this one's buildable and this one's still acceptable, and they were both like, not even half an acre at that point. But they were both useful, otherwise they would have just sat.
No,
So yeah,
they're less than a quarter of an acre.
Are they a quarter acre?
Oh, yeah, they're under .2, you know,
Okay.
one of those.
So they were approved. So yeah, there is an opportunity for variances and waivers, but I think going forward, you're making your best effort to get an acre lot. Right. Can't come in with a hardship and say, my hardship is I wanted 12 lots, I only got 10.
Yeah.
That's not really a hardship, right? That's adjust your boundary, make them an acre. Can't get 12 lots out of 10 acres. You can call it a
But it does
hardship
say
or a
that
waiver.
we have that right to hear those grievances.
Absolutely. Planning
So I
commission
think
would.
that's-
And they can make a recommendation to council to approve. Some of this would end with the planning commission, depends on what type of action it is.
So in the
If a
title-
lot was created prior to this, it's existing,
Yeah, then it's
a
legal.
legal existing
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
as long as it meets all the standards. I mean, it was a pre-existing, it's already created
Right.
as a lot, a legal lot.
Right. Doesn't make
It's basically from here forward.
Shouldn't make anything
Here
that
forward.
exists legal. There should be no issues. Right.
That's why I think this needs, the title I would like to change for requirements in general for new lots.
Yeah.
New or new
Or
development.
new developments, whatever the terminology, because it might not, it might be.
Well, what if you had a lot though, like Rich says, what if you had a lot, but it wasn't buildable? You'd still go to a variance. Let's say you already own a lot, it's a legal lot, but it's .77 acres.
Mhm.
It's not a buildable lot.
No, yeah, that, if it was already mapped and existed, you're
You
done.
build.
This would be about new land
I
division,
think
creating
so,
a
it
new
has to
lot.
be new lots or new.
You're creating a new lot.
Okay.
And if
That's
the
why I
new
would
lot
like-
doesn't meet, then you need a variance or a waiver.
That's why I want the words to say for new lots.
New lots.
So we don't, or new development, something, so people don't get confused with the land they already own.
So, we're in section 155.2, which is residential, the R1 zone. So R1 is 1 acre lots. So help me out, Rapunzel.
Yes,
So all those existing, like Westlake lots,
yes,
they already exist.
yes.
They don't meet R1 in this current definition, not even the changes, the current, because it's 1 acre minimum in Dune City.
They would not meet current code, correct.
Right, but they already exist, they're already legally mapped, they exist.
Right, they are
So,
legal lots.
so they're fine. So do we need any other language to clarify, or does this become obvious when you're doing land division, because this applies to new land division?
It's pretty obvious when you're doing a land division.
Right, because we're seeing this one little paragraph at a time, and sometimes you get it out of context. This is, if you submitted a new map tomorrow, you know, for for 6 lots.
Well, I want to make sure it's not confusing the residents too, so they understand when they read this that it's.
And that's a different problem, because it is confusing. This is a lot of words. Yes.
Well, I understand that, but
So it may not make full sense until you're the applicant and
That's
you're
why
walking
they
through
need
the
to come
steps.
in and ask
Yeah.
questions.
Is this open to public comment?
Yeah,
When I attended one of the earlier meetings when 275 and 155 first got sent to the council, there were a lot of people here that were concerned. And there were a couple of fellows sitting behind Geneva and me who I could hear them talking to the press saying, oh my God, I just got this notice and they've owned these. Now, we're interesting because we've been in Westlake forever and yes, our lots aren't like modern lots, but at least we're grandfathered. What these guys were worried about, they've owned these lots forever. Their dream was someday they could build their retirement home on it. Now they're worried they won't be able to build at all. So where do those people fall in? That's kind of a different situation.
No, it isn't.
do they have a legal parcel right now? They own a parcel of land?
Yeah, they
They
were
can build on
very
it.
worried about that. And I think, so that maybe needs to be made
Let
clear.
me answer your question. If
Yeah.
they have a legal parcel of land,
Yeah.
they can come in for a building permit. This is for a subdivision or a partition. So if they have 2.1 acres and had this thought that they were gonna divide it in 3 pieces, it hasn't met the code in years. It's 1 acre minimum.
Yeah.
But if they own a legal buildable, say a 1 acre or 3/4 of an acre, a half an acre, but it exists today as a legal lot, freestanding parcel with its own parcel number, this doesn't apply to them at all. There's no such thing as grandfather. They're already legal. It exists. So this revision doesn't go backwards. Revisions go forwards. No one gets unapproved.
Yeah, I just think it's unclear to a lot of people. People at that meeting, that was their concern. I was there for.
Yeah, I can appreciate there can be a lot of confusion. This is not simple by
It is
any
very
means.
confusing.
But it doesn't change the fact that this applies, I mean, to Rapunzel's point, it makes sense if you came in with a fresh piece of real estate that's never been divided and you fill out the application, it'll become apparent which sections apply.
Sure.
Because you're doing a subdivision or whatever type of map you're doing. But if you own real estate and it's a legal parcel, you're good. Go ahead, Rapunzel.
Yeah, so where this would most likely come into play is when there is an application for a subdivision, a partition,
Right.
or a PUD,
Right,
to make sure that the lots are meeting certain requirements, they're not little tiny itty bitty ones, they have certain frontages.
and a partition, you can do up to 3 parcels, right? Or 4?
3 per year.
Okay, so in layman's terms, you got a big piece of land, you can carve 3, this applies. A subdivision map could be a number between 3 and 100 or 1,000,
Correct.
and then a PUD is the same, and that stands for,
A PUD is where this is particularly important because a PUD allows you to create lots that are actually less than 1 acre.
right,
Provided
As long as the overall
the
balance.
entire property of the PDA.
Yeah. and that's, the PUD stands for Planned Unit Development. So if you
Correct.
plan an entire village, if you will,
Correct.
and include either compensating open space or balance of lot sizes, and it nets out, then there is room for some of
the
those.
parcel size of the PUD.
Yeah, so then some of those odd smaller parcels fit in that if it's mapped that way.
Correct.
So that doesn't apply to any, if this section doesn't apply to those that have a lot, and
If a lot is
it's
already
got a
there,
parcel number.
This is not relevant.
Right, you come in and pull a building permit, you just come in and talk to Pam because it already exists as real estate, so.
Well, I hope they pursue that, because I said, I don't know, you have to.
And I'm
talk
sure
to
there's a
the
lot of
city.
whispering, but there's also not a lot of, actual
Yeah.
research or come in and talk to staff, because some of these are easily answered, they don't need to be gossip on the street.
That's the experience ones, not the ones that don't know.
Yeah, so anyway, having said all that, do we need to change this piece or not? Since this whole section is for mapping. Because I don't think we should be redundant and say when mapping, the mapping is for new maps. I mean,
That's for 150?
yeah,
Yeah, the.
this whole section, 155.2,
150.
is for new R1. So this isn't retro, this is right for proposed divisions and proposed development. So having said all that, does it change any of your comments, or do we need to change something? And what did the memo say?
150, discuss size, width, shape, and
Oh, gotcha.
specifications for building site.
Okay. So that is very specific, it's a shall. Anybody want to take a, and do you want to revise it? Because it is pretty specific. Describing a rectangle, basically.
I just let it be known that there's gonna be opportunity to have a variance if needed.
Yeah, and then in the second, the last sentence is, the 2.5 times requirement for width to length doesn't apply to anything greater than 5 acres. But that,
But variances take time.
they do. So, okay, hypothetical, Rapunzel.
Yes.
So somebody brings you a 5-acre parcel and says, we're gonna divide it up, here's the proposed map, but it's a weird shape to start with, so we have some weird shapes. And if they're dividing it up into approximately 1-acre parcels, and they don't meet this length to width, do they need a variance or a waiver? Or if they meet everything else, right? If they come in at 1 acre and they have sufficient real estate to create these lots, is that a variance or a waiver, or is this guidance? Because it says shall. But if you're dividing a weird shaped lot, and we kind of wrote an ordinance that implies a rectangle.
So the way the total scope of the code works is that before you actually bring in your map, you have to come in to meet with staff for a pre-application conference.
Right.
In which case, if you have a proposed map that doesn't quite meet all of this, you can sit with staff to discuss the possibilities of changing it. And if there is no leeway, then you should be advised by staff that you'd have to file a variance at the same time as your application for the land division.
So it wouldn't add extra time, it would be concurrent.
It goes at the same time.
Okay, so we would have a map that ultimately would say, you have a map in front of you that also has variance to the width requirement, or whatever it is, for example.
Yeah, they fit
Okay.
together somehow.
Does that make sense? Same process, you just note that.
But it's more money for the variance.
Is there additional fee for the variance?
Yes?
Well, technically, but you're paying quite a bit of money for a subdivision. I would recommend the city waive the variance fee, frankly. You're considering everything all at once.
Right. And are the fees by resolution? They're in a separate place, right? So when we get through this, if we wanted to visit that, we could say, if you have to pay the full subdivision application, you could waive the variance if it was.
The city has the discretion to do that.
Okay, we already do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we have a lot that's 75 feet in the front, and it's 225 in the back, and it's still 1 acre, that's just a variance to accommodate that.
Well, if that lot already exists, you're good.
Yeah.
That would be if you had a bigger piece and that was the best way to carve it out. And it came out an odd dimension. Then when you did the subdivision map, you'd also ask for a variance to that. Say you have a stream and you're gonna put the property on a stream because you don't want to.
But it's still possible to build on it.
Oh, yeah.
It meets requirements.
Yes, yeah, and if it was a single freestanding, none of this would even come up. It would already exist. It was already, it's already divided. So what do you think? Do we,
I'm fine with the way it is.
okay, I am too after hearing all the rest of the moving
There's
parts.
things that can be fixed with variances, you know.
And staff review, you know, you go through it and say, you know, I would move it except there's a stream over here and there's a power line over here, so that's a logical place to divide it.
Could I ask
Yeah.
John Mobley, what do you think of this, Jack?
After it gets explained to me, I think it sounds good. I mean, I like it, it's just when you read it the first time you read it, it does sound like, okay, if you can't make these lots this certain size, then you're not gonna be able to build.
Then you're in
on them.
trouble, right?
Yeah, and I just think that's, you know, land is shaped and even
Yes.
large parcels are shaped in weird
And then
spots.
real life, right? You got power lines and water lines and streams
Yeah, right.
and ditches and,
I mean, you have to be so far from the lake and everything else, which
Right.
is, I mean, you gotta do that stuff.
Right.
It just seemed, the first couple times I read it, that it was like, this is set the way it is,
Right.
and we're not gonna, you know,
but having heard all that,
haven't heard of it.
you actually said good, I appreciate it.
Well, I say it's a little better.
It sounds good, we're glad. Thank you. Okay, if everybody's okay with that, we could flip the page. It's 5 minutes to 8, we've done one page.
We've done one.
We haven't even done one.
Well, half a page.
We're quartering the page. Sounds a lot of discussion on that.
So,
No, good. Good information.
one thing that I do need to add to the next page, which is, because this is done by the planning commission, so number 2B, actually 2A, they did add or similar turnaround behind cul-de-sac on A. Do you see that? Okay, I just want to make sure that that was,
Gotcha. Okay. Any comments on this, on lot sidelines?
Just that I think, you know, are you talking about setbacks?
No, this is just it starts at the street at a right angle.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can end up with those odd shapes and
Yeah.
curves, but it's to make a usable piece of frontage. But not setbacks itself, though. Anything on C, land for public purpose?
Which one?
C is land for public purpose, and this is not a development, this is a reservation. If there was a large subdivision or PUD or something, you could identify a piece.
So the intent here is that if they're making the division and the city's interested in it, we can basically lock in the price for 6 months.
Yeah. For a public purpose, right? So it
Yeah,
lists specified needs, school district or other.
Yeah.
I guess that's a minor change from what was there. There you go, and then it's E that has setbacks, Larry. Building setbacks measured at a point on a wall or foundation nearest respective property line.
Well, I just think.
So it's not the distance, that one's just how you measure it,
Yeah, that's fine.
right? Lots with water frontage
there is a comment on that
There's a
one.
comment, that one,
on,
the waterfront.
okay, go ahead.
Change to average between OHW and OLW.
Where'd that come from?
That was me.
Oh, I got you. And now that you understand how we got to the ordinary high water?
You know, the thing about it is with the elevations that we're using, should be fine, I think, right?
Yes.
Isn't that the
So I think we got clarity on
Did we all
that,
come to that
and that, the 50 feet from ordinary high water complies with the FEMA stuff and the riparian habitat.
Right.
So they all line up so that nobody accidentally is building in riparian because we all consistently measure setbacks. So yeah,
Right.
we're at 50 feet from
I
ordinary.
just didn't want a unusual flood event or the closing of the dam prematurely to result in somebody saying, okay, now here's your high water line, you
No.
can't do anything.
No, yeah, and that's why I looked up the definition, how do you measure it? It's not a single event, that would be an
Right.
extraordinary high water event, not the ordinary. The ordinary is seasonal.
So as this is applied in the planning, if somebody has a property and they're building something, there shouldn't be a question about where the high water line is.
I hope
There
not.
shouldn't be a question.
No,
about
the
it.
definition's clear, and then the state published that map, and that's what we're
Right,
wrestling
but
with.
let's say we send somebody out to the property and they go, well, I think this is your high water line. Is that definitive?
Well,
I mean, is it?
and we're gonna put that definition in, aren't we?
No, the definition exists, in a couple of places. I don't think it's anything we have to add, but, so, you bring up a good point, and I asked Pam that, I said, when you get a site plan, who's made that determination? You know, where they say the house should be here. And she said, that's a good question, they usually tell me, oh yeah, don't worry about it, we checked all that stuff out. And I'm like, well, I'm slightly uncomfortable with that, I wanna see some elevations or topo or a clearly delineated. So she hadn't had anything on the lakefront recently submitted, and so we were looking for a brand new, site plan that would show it. There is like how-to guides from the Army Corps of Engineers and the DOT, when you have a job, they say you go look for the vegetation, and you measure from here, and then you put your little red flags, to remind people on construction sites, so.
So do we appoint, I mean, we've had people cut trees down who said, well, it was a hazard tree.
Right.
Well, we don't know if it was a hazard tree unless we
Prior
look
to
at
getting
it.
somebody to look at it, right?
Right, so I would think that we need somebody from our planning department to verify, especially on lakeside properties.
Or have an expert, if they're
Right.
paying a consultant, if they're paying an engineer and architect to do all this layout, there's a number of people that are acceptable to the state, environmental folks, engineers, that sort of thing, that could say, yes, I'm qualified to do that, you can read all this stuff.
So my question is, we have the definition, do we have
Yes.
anywhere in the code where the planning department can require someone who's building a house or building something to verify the high water line?
Rapunzel, do you normally see that when you get a new submittal and it's lakefront? How do we end up knowing where that riparian begins and ends?
Well, that's a good question. So if it's an individual lot that's being built upon as a new build, the planning commission wouldn't see it.
Right, and it's just a building permit.
And I do know that there has been at least one house built within the riparian zone.
Because it wasn't accurately
I don't
delineated?
know what, but
Okay.
it was.
Okay.
So if it's a subdivision, I think that an engineer of some sort would probably mark it on the
Okay.
property, because it's supposed to be marked
Right.
Yeah.
So it'd be
before
flat.
before
So that's a-
construction starts.
So we may need to add something somewhere in here.
Yeah, I
to say
think,
that.
Required
I
mark.
think the concern is for the individual lot, because she would
Right.
see the PUDs.
But even that, who made that determination?
Right.
Right, we need, and that's what I asked Pam, I go, did you get a detailed, I've done site plans that were tremendously detailed, if you had flood zones and things, you had dashed lines that were very precisely plotted, because this side you couldn't put a structure, that side you could. And I expected to see the same, and she pulled up a couple of drawings and there was nothing, and they kind of left this to somebody out there,
Well,
saying, let's start from this tree and work back.
in this context, okay, we have the high water line,
Yep.
we have the low water line, right, for whatever reason we have.
Yep.
But I think somewhere in the code, we're gonna need to add that a building site, whether it's a remodel, new construction, or
Addition, right, if you're adjacent
There has to
to
be-
a water course.
there has to be a qualified person to verify the site.
I agree.
So where do we put that in the code?
We'll figure out a spot.
Why wouldn't we want to just list it as the ordinary high water that you did the research on and we did the survey on?
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, so,
So
exactly,
just add
so
that.
if we know what that elevation is on both lakes,
Right.
you'd say, you gotta go horizontal, so it's 50 feet from that minimum, horizontally. So yeah, that's relatively easy. Somebody's gotta go out there and say,
It's easy if it's a fairly flat,
Right.
low-rise property, but if it's if there's a property that's on a cliff or a high
Yeah.
bank, then it's a little.
and the other is, if it's if we're above ordinary high water, if you happen to be staking your home in January and you're above it, the actual water's edge seasonally is underwater. So you might only be, 40 feet back. But if you've got a surveyor and they say, we now have an accurate number, and then I can look at your real estate and go back 50 feet, yeah, it is something that should be marked between engineers and surveyors.
And Rapunzel makes a good point. There's parts of Woink Lake where the cliff and water
You
is
go,
80 feet, but you're only 10 feet in.
and that's what's awkward. It says 50 feet no matter what, but you go 10 feet and you're
So
40
is
feet.
it 50 feet laterally or 50
It's
feet?
50 feet horizontally.
It's horizontal.
Legally, right?
It's horizontal.
It's horizontal.
Okay.
So yeah, where you have those really steep slopes,
Does this say horizontal?
it just says 50 feet back.
It should say horizontal.
Meaning, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or the
So I don't have the concern about the high water line, the low water line, I was saying pick an average. What I'm more concerned about is the application of it.
Right.
Just so that, and planning department
Because I
isn't going to see a
Right.
single lot
I
building.
think the application of it's been inconsistent over the years.
Right,
When
so
you
we-
look around.
Yeah, and people will take that latitude.
I'm afraid you're right.
Yeah, they'll go surface 50 feet rather than horizontal 50.
Sure.
And that could be an honest mistake.
Or they cut 17 feet off their tape measure and put it at 50
Right.
feet. I worked on a job like that once. They said, here, you pull the tape, and the guy cut the end off. 10-foot setbacks, yeah, you made it. He cut a foot and a half off the tape measure because he knew he encroached. And he let the building guy hold the inspector hold the smart end.
So we need that on our to-do list. then.
Yes, we'll figure out where that lands.
Wouldn't it be in the next, in section 170, additional requirements?
I don't even know. And we're past 8, so we'll put that on our, we'll look for that place where that should land.
Just, I don't know if this will help or not. So you're talking about paragraph F, water frontage.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And where does it
So
talk about
What's
actually
this?
mapping the riparian in that
Okay, so
50-foot
hold on a
setback?
second.
Yeah,
Paragraph F refers to the length of the frontage, not the depth.
oh, I got you. We're measuring,
So it's your shoreline length.
so we gotta, when we get to the part for the 50-foot setback
Because
and
you
the
can't put
riparian.
anything technically within 50 feet of the, in the riparian zone. So
Right.
within 50 feet of.
And then we're saying if you create a lot, it's gotta have 50 foot of frontage on the lake,
Yes, measured
horizontally.
horizontally.
I got you.
Shore-wise.
Okay, and when we get to page 45, we have the chart with those areas and those setbacks, and it says riparian 50 feet. But we'll have to find the spot where it makes sure that that's delineated before any construction or something.
You
Right
make a
there on
note,
shoreline,
we come back to this.
50 feet horizontal.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So the state doesn't get involved with riparian aren't they?
Well, as a city, the state says that's the standard, and because we're a city, it's up to us to incorporate that same requirement during development, so we agree.
The city can,
We could be stringent, more stringent, but we can't be less. So we could say it's 60 feet, but we can't say it's 37 feet, right? So, we got the page, almost to the bottom of 44.
So in the definition section, are we gonna list that the ordinary high water for silk cruisers, 8.0?
Yeah, I think it's in here, and it's in the comprehensive plan already, and then we'll say, if you're on the 29 day, it's the 8 point whatever, and if you're on the 97, it's 12. So it's even, depending on, if you got a modern survey map, it's 12, if you got old, yeah. Good. Okay, so, everybody good, starting up?
Yep.
Page 40, end of bottom of 44.
I'll be ready for you.
Okay, your last item's good of the order. Duke, you got anything? You got any pearls of wisdom?
No, we're good. I'd just like to thank Lila for everything she's done for Dune City.
And, well, before we go on, I had Jeannie and Geneva on 275, and we're still in the middle of that.
That, I wasn't gonna be
You
saying.
good for right now?
It's- I-
It's continuing.
Okay,
I just
perfect,
made it
for
up,
sure.
and yes.
so.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Duke, sorry.
No, that was it, I just think he's done a great job, and
Yes.
good luck with your future.
But she's not leaving yet.
Well, I
Maybe
know,
a couple
but
weeks.
you never know, I might
Maybe in
not
a
be here
month or
next
two.
month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Melissa, Susan,
I'm good, thank you.
Rich,
Yeah,
nothing?
I don't have any.
No, Larry?
I just wonder, those of you on Willing, have you seen the water turn?
Well, it's been turning for a while.
Yeah, I said it's still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just me.
Slow turn.
You still get fish water.
slow turn, we did testing yesterday.
Yeah, I know you were gonna test, and
We were out there.
it's a real slow turn, but it's been a long time since it turned.
Very slow, and it's warmer than usual this time of year, which is a little strange.
There's a lot of
The clarity
stuff that's
isn't
floating.
anywhere near what it was last year at this time. Turbidity.
Yeah, I noticed off the end of my dock that the water's cloudy, and I'm going, what is going on? Because usually it's like 2 weeks, and it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've had a really long
Yeah,
season of it.
my wife lets me know it.
Oh, I do in my household, I'm like, there's the fish water.
all right,
What's going on?
all right, it's not just me.
No,
Change the filter.
stock up in your water.
Yeah, all right, thank you for doing that. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, who would like a motion to adjourn? Second. All those in favor of adjourning?
Bye.
It's 8:11. Thank you so much for your efforts tonight.